Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Spock, and we are back here in Elite Dangerous with another shipbuilding guide. Today I am here with the Imperial Cutter PvP variant that I have. The Imperial Cutter is a very wonky ship in my opinion. It has a very bad tendency to drift and just kind of have its own little mind while you fight it, and while you're trying to fight your own opponents too. Um, I'm personally still lean towards the Corvette, but we're going to go over today with the Imperial Cutter on how I've built it and how I have personally been able to fly with it. So let's start. For our points, we went with the standard gimbal multi-cannon build. It does suck against dispersal and chaff, but what's nice is you're pretty fast, so you're able to stay up with a lot of your opponents. You can kind of switch targets if you need to, or just harass whoever you think is necessary. But right now we are going with a bunch of multi-cannons. So we have one huge multi-cannon with overcharge 5 and incendiary. This is not quite a fully G5 ship. It's G5 but not fully rolled. So if you see some weird numbers, don't be alarmed. You can get this up to a very higher standard too. But yes, we got a large or a huge heavy MC. Then we have two large multi-cannons here with overcharged incendiary. Very good for stripping shields and still really good for doing hull damage as well. We have a 2D cannon with high capacity 5 and dispersal. Very nice for dealing with other large ships that you're going to be fighting in case they have gimbals, so you can really throw off their targeting. Railgun, long range 5 with feedback. Very important to have whenever fighting ships with shield cell banks, especially large ships, or really any ship for that matter. Really hurts their shields by a lot. Yeah. And then we have a 2C multi-cannon with high capacity magazine 5 with corrosive. Very nice to get that extra 25% damage plus that reduced 20 hull hardness. Very nice to do that extra module damage. And then we have a 2, I think I meant to say 2F multi-cannon here is 2 as well, but another 2F multi-cannon, but this one has overcharged with incendiary rounds, so it does extra thermal damage against their shields. This ship very much lacks the firepower, and what firepower it does has is very hindered by the 7A distro, but we'll go over that once we get to it. For this ship, I have went with a full shield booster setup. You can run point defense or whatever you think is necessary to avoid flechettes and missiles and whatnot. But I think we got five heavy duty shield boosters that are OA with super cap. I think I might have forgot to put that one on this one actually. But yes, you're gonna need heavy duty super cap for all of these. And then we have a resistant augmented shield booster with super cap to get those resistances up a little bit more because it is a prismatic shield and a chunky prismatic shield at that. So yeah. And then we have a thermal resistant booster with super cap. So that really helps those thermal resistances because as I said, this is a prismatic, so you really want to get those resistances up a little bit and not have your thermals being too low, or you will be pretty screwed if you get a lot of thermal damage being thrown at you, which can happen against another large ship, so best be careful. Now for the core internals, I've went with reactive surface composite. It's kind of up to you how you want to do this. Maybe run lightweight, get a little extra speed. But with this being a large ship, it's really not that big a concern. I've went with heavy duty 5 with deep plating to get as much hull armor as possible. But yeah, the 8A power plant, it still doesn't feel like it's enough power. Whenever I was making this ship, I don't know how that is literally possible, but I am overcharged 5 with thermal spread. This ship still runs ridiculously hot, and it's very annoying. It's very convoluted compared to my Corvette. My Corvette is basically a flawless ship, but this cutter feels like it has hiccups. And I don't think that's due to my design or how I've built it. I spent a lot of time thinking about it and working on it. I just think the cutter's just really a weird ship. So, yeah. But it also does have very big modules in certain areas, like the thrusters and the prismatics. So, yeah, that's probably another reason why. Then we have an 8A thruster, which is drive tuning 5 with 30 or drag drives. This ship is pretty fast, actually. 474 for a large, nothing to shrug at. And then I have a 7A distro with fast boot, with double brace, I have double brace on there because just in case it does take some damage from flechettes, it's still fine. Also, fast boot in case I get hit by Groms because that's more likely going to happen. And then a 7D life support with lightweight, and then a 7A distro. I mean, the 7A distro is great on a medium, terrible on a large, and it's one of the, I think, balancing slash hindering things of the cutter because it really does make it very difficult to fire these multi cannons for a very long amount of time. You're gonna have to learn some serious trigger discipline while using it. You've got to let that distro recharge, get really good pit macros, and make it work. And then I have a 7D sensor that I have put lightweight 5 on. Honestly, I'd probably recommend if you can get the power situation figured out, maybe long range. That would probably honestly be better. And I honestly probably should switch it to that, but I'll worry about that later. I think I just had this one in storage is why. Okay, for the optionals, we have a 8A prismatic. This takes a lot of power. So we're running reinforced 5 with high cap, and then we have some 8B shield cell banks. The reason why we're running 8B is for the power and also better mega joule spread, plus a little bit extra. And the weight really doesn't matter all that much. So yes, we're running 8B recycle cells, and 3 6B specialized threes with recycle cells. Also, the 8B is a specialized cell bank 3 with recycle. And then we have some hull on this, and what's funny is this actually I think has less hull than my vet, if I'm correct. But we have 4D. We have 3 uh 5D hull reinforcement packages, and they all are going to have heavy duty reinforced 5 with deep plating. I do have a module reinforcement 5D and 4D to protect against flechettes and other such things in case you lose your shields. And then I have a 3D hull reinforcement package here with thermal resistant hull reinforcement with deep plating. And then a frame shift drive and addictor because you got to pull your enemy somehow. And what's nice is the ship's not half bad for pulling people. So yeah. But yeah, that's my build on the Imperial Cutter. As I said, it's a very wonky ship in its flying heuristics and everything about it. It's kind of forgiving, but kind of not forgiving at the same time. There's a lot of things that people like about it, especially its speed and its cargo capacity. But I find it very difficult to use as a PvP ship. But it's still capable, don't get me wrong. I just think the vet does it a little bit better with its agility and better DPS, better distro. You can say the vet has a little less defense, but the vet has a better defense throughout the battle, in my opinion, than just up front, is what I think is the best way to describe it. But yeah, please let me know down below what you think of my cutter and what do you run on your cutter. I do like to hear some feedback. I'm curious to see what other builds. I know long range MCs with incendiary is a viable tactic people has been doing on vets and cutters as well. And I should have probably done that with this one, but I feel very confident still with the classic overcharged incendiary build. But hey, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Until then, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. See y'all.